There's a long tradition in this country of taking children away from their families of origin rather than supporting those families so that those families can thrive.
If you take a child and you have a child in foster care for 1 or 2 years of their lives, that is a significant amount of time in their lives. To the extent that we can make foster care, when it needs to happen, a more short-lived thing, that should be done.
I've heard from cradle to prison. I've heard from school to prison. We're losing a lot of kids.
Children who grow up in foster care without a permanent family routinely have greater challenges as youth and as young adults because they haven't had the strength of a family supporting them as they go into adulthood.
What broke my heart is when the designer of one of our new family courthouses told me that he designed around waiting rooms because that's where most of the people in the family court are. I feel terrible about that people have to wait and wait and wait and wait.
We especially were concerned about how the family court functioned. In that regard, we discovered that parents had very little representation. They basically were picked up by an attorney in the courthouse itself. There was very little preparation.
I had attorneys that didn't know my name. I had social workers who didn't know a lot about me because they changed all the time.
Cases in family court are often poorly decided because they're not well litigated. That means that as a judge, you don't get the information you need to make the crucially important decision about what the fate of a child will be.
When you order parental rights terminated, what is more significant than that in the life of the family, in the life of the children? It's not enough just for a person to wander into a courthouse, even a very well-educated and seemingly knowledgeable person. You need to have the right kind of help because human beings their problems are multifaceted. And you need to deal with all of their problems, not just with the problem that's in the statute book.
We knew how desperate the need was for an institutional supporter and representative for the parents of these children. When we were approached by Sue Jacobs, we saw the capacity and capability that she had and that she was able to bring around her, and felt like this was a good start for us to help build the family court system by building the parent representation aspect of it. Well, as commissioner of ACS, I was able to reach out to CFR to make use of their expertise and their staff capabilities to help us build a stronger public agency.
Sometimes we are doing exactly what the city is charged to do, but we are doing it with a little bit greater sense of urgency and frankly more quickly.
You need the expertise of someone who knows how to work with families, how to help them get back on their feet, and how to communicate with them. The idea of having a team in which there's a social worker and there's a lawyer is wonderful. And what is just as wonderful, in my opinion, is the idea of having a parent advocate.
And our parent advocates are parents who are on our staff, but who have actually had the experience of being investigated by the city, accused in the family court, and safely reunifying with their children from foster care. When a parent sits across from a professional who says, I really do know what it feels like to not put your child to bed every night, that matters.
Everybody kept telling me to get my life together, but it wasn't like no one to really help me get my life together. If it was a place like CFR there at the courthouse to help parents the way CFR do, I don't think my kids would have been in care for 5 years.
When you add up the cost of serving those hundreds of thousands of children in foster care, it's in the billions of dollars. And just like we've had the impact here of reducing lengths of stay and keeping some kids out of foster care altogether, and seeing that that really impacts taxpayers' savings, we know that that can be true on a national level.
85 cents of every dollar donated to CFR goes to the work, goes to the clients.
From the very beginning, we were dedicated to the rigorous collection of data because we knew that we would have to prove to other people that our model was successful on a number of different layers, that we provided a high-quality government service, that we ensured justice for the parents that we represented, and that we saved taxpayer dollars.
So part of the reason that it's important to us to grow is because of the impact that we can have potentially on the lives of children in foster care throughout the country. And it's not that we think we have to have little CFRs everywhere, but rather the beauty of our model is that people can learn it and come here and be trained and use the aspects of the model that work for them best in their own jurisdictions and have a similar impact on reducing the lengths of stay of children in foster care.
I can't tell you how much a difference having someone like CFR in the child welfare system functioning every day in behalf of these families. I can't tell you how important that is. We do less well when parents are not given the support and the guidance and the help that they need. And when parents' rights are protected, we do better as a system protecting the rights of their children. CFR is at the center of that.
CFR, every family matters.